Erase that. Okay, go ahead.
I'm Rick.
We're gonna do Uncle Vanya. There's something very strange with this house. Your mother hates everything except her pamphlets and the professor. The professor is irritable. He doesn't trust me and is afraid of you. Sonia is angry at her father, angry with me. She hasn't spoken to me for 2 weeks. You hate my husband and are openly contemptuous of your mother. I am on edge and have been on the verge of tears 20 times today. There's something very wrong in this house.
Let's drop the philosophy.
Ivan Petrovich, you are an educated, intelligent man, and I should think you would understand. The world is not being destroyed by fire and crime, but by hatred, enmity, all these petty squabbles. Your business should be not to grumble, but to reconcile us to each other.
First, reconcile me to myself. Darling.
Stop it. Go away.
The rain will be over presently, and everything in nature will be refreshed and breathe easily. I shall not be refreshed by the storm. Day and night, like an evil spirit, I am haunted by the thought that my life has been hopelessly wasted. I have no past. It was stupidly spent on trifles, and the present is awful in its absurdity. There's my life. My love for you. What is to be done with them? What can be done with them? My feeling for you is dying in vain, like a ray of sunshine that has fallen into a pit, and I myself am being destroyed.
When you talk to me of your love, I feel numb and don't know what to say. Forgive me. There's nothing I can say to you. I'm going to bed.
And if you know how I suffer from the thought that by my side in this house another life is being destroyed, yours, accursed philosophy stands in your way. Understand, do understand.
Ivan Petrovich, you are drunk.
It may be.
Where's the doctor?
In there, in my room, he's spending the night here. It may be anything is possible.
So you've been drinking today. What's that for?
At least it seems like life. Don't prevent me, Helena.
You never used to drink. And you never used to talk so much. Go to bed. I'm bored with you.
My
Leave me
wonderful
alone.
one.
This is really disgusting.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I think I get what's going on, but why don't you fill me in on what's happening? Either one.
I'm exhausted. My husband is a professor, and he is much older than me, and is constantly complaining about his gout.
Oh.
All the time. And Vanya is, in a roundabout way, my brother-in-law. He is my husband's first wife's brother. First wife is dead, so I'm the second wife. And so, but they all live together, and like so, my stepdaughter's uncle. He's kind of my like confidant, or the person I can like talk to about like just whatever. Just kind of unload on him a lot.
Is this a sexual tension?
I'm in love with her.
He's in love with me, and I'm not in love with him.
Okay.
But I think that I'm also like afraid to lose what our friendship. So I can't just like be completely get away from the gross.
That was my other question, is what is on the other side of the sexual tension? I mean, what keeps it from just hopping in bed and moving in that direction? And it is loss of friendship, and what else?
Loss of husband, possibly. I mean, good.
Who are you really in love with?
The doctor,
Right.
who I'm also was asking questions on.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Okay, so, but you're in love with her.
Yes.
She's in love with someone else
Okay.
and married.
Does anybody have a
Someone
graph
else.
that I can All right, so, first of all, I like both of your tone. I mean, it's just a very soft, very believable, and I don't know how to describe it other than just nice lines, you know, just, I don't mean
Yeah.
lines that sort of what you're saying, but just this sort of smoothness that's working really well, and I can feel that, it's organic. Like I
The term we sometimes use, Rand, is ease.
Yeah, it feels good, I like it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with you. I think that, first of all, I want you to be more convincing. When we do studies on deception, one of the things that we look at is gaze, where you're looking. And if you watch my gaze and I do this, I go, it doesn't have any sense of connection going on. So if you're looking out here, be sure you're looking at something so that I don't stop believing you.
Okay.
And because you're believable, you are believable, but then you kind of are shedding
Sliding with
off
the eyes.
credibility with just that. Same with blinking. Be careful about when you do that. So we have to blink, but there may be moments when you're blinking nervously and giving away credibility instead of keeping it.
Okay.
Now, sometimes we blink and it's appropriate, like when he's reaching over to you, that might make you blink in everyday life. That would happen because this is a boundary violation going on. One of the things I like about this is Chekhov, right? What I love about Chekhov is that he understands boundaries and how to penetrate boundaries and how to change and violate. You know, all these different ways that boundaries operate, and this one has all kinds of twists to it. So go ahead and when you come in, I'd like you to slow it down and be more convincing, more decisive about what you're saying. And I'd like you to be about the same, except when you are reaching out to her, I'd like you to be a little bit. Are you drunk, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You shouldn't come to
I'm
class
not.
like that.
Oh,
No, but I think
Don't
that-
respect it.
I have just one of the Letsy drink. So, when you're reaching out, be sure that you're reaching out in a way that makes us uncomfortable.
Okay.
So I want you to reach out in the way that there's a point at which you reach out to her, you go, oh, but you kind of do this, sort of like that. Not really about, that bounced off her boundary, and I want you to go through her boundary.
Okay.
Do it right now, let me see what that looks like. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
There were 2 points where you tried to
Well,
touch
there's
her.
one of them was first reconcile me to myself, my God.
Yeah, keep the,
Keep it
whether
there.
it's hand or whatever, but think about how do you keep, Eric said something yesterday that really resonated with me, which was something about contact or connection or something. It doesn't need to be touched all the time, but in some way violate her boundary. Okay, boundary violations are things like the things that we say to each other. Some of you have heard me talk about boundaries, and I say, if you meet me for the first time, and then I say, man, I have really bad diarrhea. It's like too much information, too soon kind of thing. That's a boundary violation. If one of you says, hey, Rand, can I borrow $50? You know, that would be Alright? But also how close we are to each other, how long we touch each other. If I was talking to Jet, and I say, hey, how's it going? And then I went, that would be like too much.
Not in the theater.
Maybe not. So I want you to violate the boundary, and then that gives you something else to work with.
I have a challenge for you, not moving your feet. You have a tendency to carry tension in your feet, and it takes you probably out too, but that's like your habit, I think, so it's challenging to move your feet.
Okay, let's go ahead and take it from the top, and I'll interrupt this time.
Perfect. Sounds
And I have more for you as we go, okay?
Okay.
There was something very wrong with this house. Your mother hates everything except her pamphlets and the professor. The professor is irritable. He doesn't trust me and is afraid of you. Sonia is angry at her father, angry at me. She hasn't spoken to me for 2 weeks. You hate my husband and are openly contemptuous of your mother. I am on edge and have been on the verge of tears 20 times today. There is something very wrong in this house.
Let's drop the philosophy.
Okay, now in that moment, you look like you're irritated or whatever, and I don't know if that's what you want to do. Are you irritated with it?
Not really.
Okay, so you're
No.
communicating that, and if you don't mean to communicate that, I want you to think about what you mean to communicate. What do you mean to communicate?
Well, I think I'm having fun with it.
Okay, so you're drunk, a little drunk,
Yeah.
so all our inhibitions are down a tad. So when your inhibition's down, you're done with this, and you say, let's drop the philosophy. What is the move that you're making with that statement?
I'm sort of poking fun at how dramatic she's being about it,
Okay.
and at the same time, just like, I mean, it's an excuse to start up a chat.
What follows this statement?
Ivan Petrovich, you are uneducated on about what his duty should be to fix the world.
Okay. Go right before that. Communicate something different than irritation if that's not what you mean to communicate,
Right.
and let's see where it goes.
There is something very wrong with this house.
Let's drop the philosophy.
Ivan Petrovich, you are an educated, intelligent man. I should think you would understand that the world is not being destroyed by crime and fire, but by hatred, enmity, all these petty squabbles. Your business should be not to grumble, but to reconcile us to one another.
First, reconcile me to myself. My darling.
Stop it. Leave me alone.
Okay, so that even could be even more intrusive, especially since you're drunk.
Right.
I don't want this to be hitting on her. I want this to be sloppy, a little sloppy.
Right.
And the reason for that is to make her uncomfortable.
Okay.
Okay, not because I just want this sort of to turn into a sort of a chain reaction. You're so authentic. I mean, I think that when you're looking at her, you look like you're really longing for her. That it's not like a look of longing, but you just look like you really like her, and that's believable. And now the inhibition is out of the equation. he's in bed, you know, there's nobody else here, I'm a little just feeling good. But I don't want you to go too far with that, but I think, you know, so go back to where you were. How much time do I have?
Just a few more minutes.
About 7 minutes I can give you, and then we'll have
Okay.
to, well, somebody's gonna get.
So go right to where you were and then start again.
There's something very wrong with this audio. There is something very wrong in this house.
Let's drop the philosophy.
Ivan Petrovich, you are an educated, intelligent man. I should think you would understand that the world is not being destroyed by fire and crime, but hatred. All these petty squabbles. Your job should be not to grumble, but to reconcile us to one another.
First, reconcile me to myself. My darling.
Oh.
Stop.
Now, how did you turn red like that?
That's really good.
That's amazing.
An expert.
Let's keep going, keep going. I'm really sorry.
Go away.
The rain will be over presently, and everything in nature will be refreshed and breathe easily. Only I shall not be refreshed by the storm. Day and night, like an evil spirit, I am haunted by the thought that my life has been hopelessly wasted. I have no past. It was stupidly spent on trifles, and the present is awful in its absurdity. Here's my life.
Okay, that was really interesting. What just leaked out there?
Will you tell me?
Well, the present, that was really on. What were you experiencing when you said that?
Well, I was, I mean, I'm in love with her, and I mean, I've been in this situation before. I have feelings for a girl who is a friend of mine, and, you know, like, I know, as much hope as there is that there might be something that happens here, there's a very big part of me that's like, I know that this is just my imagination, like, this isn't going to go anywhere real, you know what I mean?
What is the line?
The present is awful in its absurdity.
Yeah.
And it's like, lowered into conditions, I'm being incredibly honest, both with, not only with you, but also with myself.
Is there a way to make that more honest than it is right there? I mean, you brought it really close. I felt it this time that I didn't feel the first time.
I could try, yeah.
Okay. Just back up one line and go.
Day and night, like an evil spirit, I am haunted by the thought that my life has been hopelessly wasted.
Don't smile yet.
I have no past. It was stupidly spent on trifles. Present is awful in its absurdity. Here's my life. My love for you. What is to be done with them? What can be done with them?
Be careful about the smiling part right now. I mean, I didn't think it was a problem a few minutes ago, but now, right in this moment, I'm thinking you're giving something away. You're making it less convincing. This is now what I love about Chekhov too is that he creates these little confessional sort of moments where there's the possibility of redemption and completion or absolute rejection, and we're as an audience sitting here in a complete state of vulnerability while we're experiencing you and while we're watching you. So in that place, don't smile and diffuse our anxiety. Let us feel the boldness of your statements and your conviction behind it.
Okay.
The smile gives that away. So don't blink when you talk to her about this one part. Don't smile. That's a boundary violation. That's crossing over something, and then that gives you something to work with. So go right back there and try it with that, and then let's do the whole thing with these pieces.
Okay. Same place.
Yeah.
Day and night, like an evil spirit, I am haunted by the thought that my life has been hopelessly wasted. I have no past. It was stupidly spent on trifles. My present is awful and its absurdity. That's my life. My love for you. What's to be done with them? What can be done with them? My feeling for you is dying in vain. Like a ray of sunlight that has fallen into a pit, and I myself am being destroyed.
When you speak to me of your love, I feel numb and don't know what to say. Forgive me, there's nothing I can say to you. Good night.
Okay, stop for a second. That turned into a moment of rescue, because instead of you being in the smile state and just kind of this, when you put it into that other mode, that line has an important role in the moment. It wasn't there the first time. It is now. You're trying to be nice, trying to be tender, you're trying to help him feel better, but you're in pain when you're at this part of the scene. Are you starting to access that a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and where does it go from here?
I try to leave, and then he's going to stop me.
Okay, do that. Let me see that real quick. There's one thing I was going to say about that, and then we got to do the whole thing real quick. Not real quick.
Good night.
And if you know how I suffer from the thought that by my side in this house another life is being destroyed, yours, what cursed philosophy stands in your way? Understand. Do understand.
Ivan Petrovich, you are drunk.
Nice. Okay. Good. You did something a little different there, and I love it. So go ahead and let's start it from the beginning. Let me see the whole thing. And you need to project.
Nice try.
There is something very wrong with this house. Your mother hates everything except her pamphlets and the professor. The professor is irritable. He doesn't trust me and is afraid of you. Sonia is angry at her father, angry at me. She hasn't spoken to me for 2 weeks. You hate my husband and are openly contemptuous of your mother. I am on edge and have been on the verge of tears 20 times today. There is something very wrong with this house.
Let's drop the philosophy.
Ivan Petrovich, you are an educated, intelligent man. I should think that you would understand that the world is not being destroyed by crime and fire, but hatred, enmity, all these petty squabbles. Your business should be not to grumble, but to reconcile us to one another.
First, reconcile me to myself. My darling.
Stop it. Go away.
The rain will be over presently, and everything in nature will be refreshed and breathe easily. Only I shall not be refreshed by the storm. Day and night, like an evil spirit, I am haunted by the thought that my life has been hopelessly wasted. I have no past. It was stupidly spent on trifles, and the present is awful feeling for you is dying in vain, like a ray of sunlight that has fallen into a pit. And I myself am being destroyed.
When you talk to me of your love, I feel numb and don't know what to say. Forgive me. There's nothing I can say to you. Good night.
You know how I suffer from the thought that by my side in this house another life is being destroyed. Yours. Or just a philosophy stands in the way. You stand into the
Ivan Petrovich, you are drunk.
It may be.
Where's the doctor?
In there. In my room. Spending the night here. Maybe anything is possible.
So you've been drinking today. What's that for?
At least it seems like life. Don't prevent me, Helena.
You never used to drink. And you never used to talk so much. Go to bed. I am bored with you.
My darling.
Leave me alone. This is really disgusting.
How did that feel,
Yeah.
working with that second part?
Oh, terrible.
Yeah. I mean, did it feel different to you?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, and then your role sort of changed a little bit. So that was good, that was good. I really, again, I want each of you to look at the before and after, and see how you changed without even necessarily deciding to change.
Right.
Like, oh, I didn't realize I did that. And by the way, both of you did some things like that I'm not sure you did on purpose or not. Maybe you did, but it was like, ooh, that was good. I like that. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.